Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Tuesday, the 2nd of September. Nice little Monday has gone. A bit of a chaotic Monday, to be honest. But we're here. And the long to short ratio, we're down at 61.8%. So we're getting a few shorts coming back into the market just from this up move, which is nice to see. Still majority long in the market, it has to be said. So yeah, the downtrend is still intact, but we're getting a nice little bounce so far. In terms of liquidity, from all that longing, the last week basically, or the last couple days, we've seen a big long liquidation pocket open up around 107 to 106.6, let's call it. Just under those lows that we've made, there's a big liquidation pocket. Right now, we're starting to gain a few highs, starting to gain some things. We've got a higher low and a higher high, which is nice to see. Yeah, we were talking about that 107, 108 area potentially being a bounce at the end of last week, right? So yeah, that's nice to see. Kiyotaka, again, we got the volume node at about 108.5. We seem to have gained that right now. We were dancing around that a little bit last week. And in terms of the order book, we have some stuff. I think that's actually been pulled at around 113.3, 113.4 so far. So there's not really too much in the order book. We do have some about 300 Bitcoin stepping at 107.5 right now to hold that low that we did just put in. So very interesting stuff. Currently gained September the weekly open, and it's not looking too bad. The MDX chart and indicators, we are seeing some shorts come in as well, and some shorts come in, some longs taper off. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, we'll have to see if that continues and we gain any significant high. 112.5 will be the first one. It'll be interesting to see what happens when that's gained. Also, I didn't talk about the liquidity to the upside. We do have a lot of short liquidity to the upside. 112 all the way really up to 114, and then also the higher stuff at 119 as well. So yeah, not looking too bad, looking quite interesting. Let's see if we can come up and gain 113 and get that liquidity, make a new high on the 4-hour chart, start changing the trend, and then it will unlock all the short liquidity above us all the way up to 119 pretty much. So yeah, it's not looking too bad as of right now, since yesterday. And yeah, after that chaotic little Monday, we've had a little bit of a bounce. What buyback from the dip yesterday? Yeah, that I was watching the 4-hour close. I was actually watching the daily close last night, and I was like, that is pretty nuts, because it was looking rough about 20 to 30 minutes before the close. It was looking a little bit rough, and then yeah, the buyback just came in insanely strong at the end. Q3 was a nice target. Yeah, Adrian was talking about Q3 for a while. I was talking about 107, 108, or 103, 104, and yeah, we seem to be getting a little bit of a bounce. We still are in a downtrend, but let's see what happens in the next week, pretty much this week, and yeah, we'll go through some of the charts now. Feel free to slap something in, and we'll have a look, because I'll have a look at some of the stuff that we were talking about yesterday. Let's change the screen. And yeah, so Bitcoin, let's just go to the daily time frame. We'll take these off right now. Yeah, we've held the low so far. We've held the low at 10, let's just call it 108k. We've also got the weekly open, September open at 108k as well. It's the low of these daily candles that we've just put in. We really want to start gaining something now. So the big one, the first big one's going to be 112.5, but then the 4-hour one is, I think it's about 113k as well. So if we can come up and test here and do some nice closes above here on the 4-hour, or a nice daily close above 112.5, it's going to start to look really good, potentially putting in a high low. And then we've also created some heavy overlapping support as well. So it's looking quite nice. It's actually looking quite nice on Bitcoin as well. We started to see a lot of this bullish divergence come in in this down move, this down grindy price action into the 108k level, which is always nice to see when you're getting some bullish divergence on the oscillator and you're getting the price coming back down. Yeah, we also got that retail stablecoin demand. It came in right at the bottom, and yeah, we've since seen a nice little bit of a bounce, which is good to see on Bitcoin. Again, we want to start seeing some gains of price. In general, we're still in a downtrend. We need to start doing something like that, like a higher low back up to August, and then we're probably going to go and hit 119k in that daily resistance. But yeah, it's looking decent for a bounce. So that's nice to see on Bitcoin. Nothing too much to say. Yeah, nothing really too much to say on that. We were talking about the bounce, and we have got it. Let's have a look at ETH. ETH is still... Yeah, ETH's not looking too bad. We do have a equal low on the 4 hour with a nice wick into the support zone. This is also the combination band as well. Currently trying to gain the weekly open in September with some bullish divergence as well up here. This is also nice to see. If we can come up and make a new high, I think I'll be bidding this level. So yeah, I didn't really get any bids down at 4.2, but yeah, it's looking pretty decent for a potential bounce back up. Not too bad, eh? Not too bad. Let's just delete some of that as well. So yeah, in the short term, we do have some resistance about 4.47 to 4.5. That's probably going to be a little bit of resistance on ETH. Might come up and see an initial rejection, and then hopefully we can sort of like hold the weekly open in this structure that we just did. But if we can, it's looking potentially quite decent to go up and test 4.63-ish on ETH, which is looking quite good in the near term as well for some of our alts. Yeah, Solana's still looking good. We didn't get down to my buy zone in between 192 and 189. I had a lot of orders stacked in here because I really wanted to get quite long on Solana. We're still in a bit of a downtrend. We would like to gain sort of 205.5 on this up move to change the trend, and then maybe do a nice bullish retest, the weekly open in September, or even the low at the daily open. But as of right now, if we see it reject from basically where we are here, we could be expecting one more drop down to the 786, where I would still be a buyer. If not, we're basically going to hold the daily open or the weekly open in September and go a little bit higher if the bounce is going to be anything more than just a little bit of relief, if it's going to turn into something a little bit bigger. But yeah, I've still got my orders in here, and yeah, in general, just going to be chilling on this a little bit. So the other one was Fartcoin. We obviously talked about this extensively in the last couple of weeks. Let's go back down to the daily. So yeah, we did get a little bit of a nasty daily close there, just below 7.2. But I did say, I think I said 70 cent to 7.3 is going to be a potential bounce area for Fartcoin. And yeah, it seems to be doing quite nice. We might see a bit of a rejection in between 7.85 and 7.95. But yeah, if we can hold this low now, it's going to be looking quite good for potentially a test all the way up at 8.5. And if we can gain that on the daily time frame, we're going to have changed the trend back to the upside. So yeah, I'm in a little bit of a bounce trade from 7.2, 7.3 in that area. And yeah, hopefully we can sort of like gain something. I will be taking a bit of profit in this area that we're just coming up to now, just so I can de-risk the trade. And we are obviously still in a downtrend, but yeah, I am long, and yeah, we've been talking about this for a little while as well. So let's hope that it gains something, and yeah, that'll be a nice little trade, potentially all the way up to the yearly open and this big resistance pocket. So yeah, that's also doing quite well. I mean, actually a pretty sizable long on this, which is looking quite good. Second ETH trade from the 786 4 hours studio. Nice. I said yesterday, if things gain their September and don't hold, don't get caught trying to short a bunch of liquidity above. I also agree. We still are in a downtrend though, so there is some hedge shorts on the table. And by hedge, I mean this is Bitcoin. If we get back up into this pocket where the 4-hour combination band is, there is a short play here, just because we do have a new low from this high. Just expect that to maybe not even make a new low past 107, 107.7, where we just made that low recently on Monday. It's possibly just going to be a hedge to come back down and retest bullishly, and then hopefully we can make a new high up to August. So yeah, there are some hedge shorts on the table, to be honest. If you did get long around 107, 108, to be honest, even if you didn't, there are still hedge shorts there, because I think the risk is fine. You're looking at about 1.5% stop. If you take it from the 786, it'll be more like 1% if you get a little bit higher. So 112.5, 113, the areas of interest to potentially gain on the 4-hour and the daily time frame. But because we still are in a downtrend, there are also levels that you could potentially hedge short. But yeah, it's looking good. Hopefully it has a little bit more legs to this bounce. And again, if we do see a rejection here, potentially there's a bullish back test of this area that you could also long. So yeah, nice, looking decent. And yeah, that 4-hour close last night for the daily was menacing. Menacing. ETH's currently struggling on its weekly open in September at the moment, but it's not looking too bad. Sol looks really good. We already did Fartcoin. Hype. Yeah, I tried to get some on this 886 and I actually got stopped out. I was looking at this as it was going to bullishly div on the 4-hour time frame, but I already had my stop set in. It was around 42 point. I think it was like 42.7, 42.8. So I did just get wicked out, which is unfortunate, but is also to be expected sometimes. Let's see if this makes a new high here and comes up to, like 45.7 ish, and then bullishly backtest. Then I could have another swing at this. But obviously, I'm still long on hype anyway, so nothing too crazy to say there. Sui. Yeah, Sui looks a little bit more rough. I think this daily chart, it leaves a little bit to be desired. We do have a nice wick into the combination band. We do have it trying to gain the weekly open June and September levels on the daily time frame as well. We are in the super oversold area of the daily wave master as well. So I'm looking at this as it could potentially bounce all the way up to May and December, and if it doesn't gain there, it's either going to come back and retest and make a higher low, or it's going to come all the way into the area that we've been waiting for quite a while, which is 2.8 to $3 in here, where I will be giga long, and this is also a daily stuber from this high all the way to this low as well. So yeah, that's the plan on Sui. I do expect, just because this is in a downtrend, to get rejected the first time from May December, where this where the combination of EMA is sitting as well. It's probably also core liquidity as well. Yeah, core liquidity pretty much lines up with this EMA combination as well. So I will expect that to get a short-term rejection on the first tap. It just remains to be seen if we do a higher low on the weekly open September, June, or we make one more new low down into $2.83, where I will be a giga logger if it does get there. I might as well just draw it on. Yeah, something like that. Reckon Sui gets above all. Sorry, excuse me. Reckon Sui gets above all-time high in this circle. So I've actually famously been saying that this cycle, a lot of alts aren't going to make new all-time highs or even get to their all-time high. But I think if there's one thing that can, I do think it's Sui. And the reason why is because this weekly chart looks very, very good. I'm just going to take all these off and just do it literally just stock like this. We could even just put on, I mean, it didn't quite get to there, but basically, I think this structure looks really good. We obviously have the weekly time frame. We have higher lows. We also have a couple higher highs here. We also have a big retest of this area and this area here, which is this low that we held, and we also retested the high of it in June. So I do think if there is one coin that is going to do it, it's going to be Sui. If it does fall a little bit lower, I'm looking for 2.8 to 3 to hold, and then for it to make a new high up to $5, and then potentially just squeeze up a little bit higher. But yeah, I do think, in short, I do think Sui has a very good chance of breaking its all-time high compared to a lot of other coins in the market. I definitely think this is one that when it gets going, it's going really nicely. It's also a new coin. It's got a lot of institutional interest. The weekly chart looks very good as well. I think the two weekly charts for big coins that look really good are probably just Doge and Sui. There are obviously other weekly charts like Hype, Sol, that are looking good as well. I mean, I've probably missed out a few, but Sui and Doge look really good on the weekly time frame and even on the daily, to be fair. So, what's Injective doing? Yeah, Injective came down. It's hit its June level. This is also something that could drop a little bit further, as we are beneath the EMA. We do have a new low on the daily time frame. We're obviously just retesting this low from the beginning of August, which is interesting to see. But if we were to come up and basically bearishly retest March, August, and this EMA, it'll probably be something like, yeah, $14, or even failing here at 13.2, 13.1. This could see one more down move. But yeah, let's see if the bounce can take us up above March and August and do something like that. Then I'll be a little bit more confident on this potentially bottoming out. I still think there's a potential to do like this and do the big flush out before we get the big alt season, and this would also be the bullish super pocket as well on the daily time frame, combination band, that all that jazz as well. So just keep that in mind that we could do one more down move after this bounce. But yeah, it's looking pretty decent right now. We do have some bullish divergence on the 4 hour. If we can gain August and March, it's going to be looking quite good on the 4 hour to potentially step ladder a little bit higher on Injective. Jack the Ripper, what do you need Sui for? Or what is their chain good for? What reason do we have for it to stick around? It's not so much that I care about the fundamentals. I just think that I think the chart looks good. I think the interest is good. I think the project is generally quite a good one. It has a lot of things going for it in terms of it's a new coin for this cycle. So I think it's one thing that can actually break its all-time high and do something very interesting. You're kind of more speaking about like, why do we need it when we have other stuff that do things just as well, in which I don't really know if I agree with that, to be fair. I mean, people said this about Sol last cycle. They were like, why do we need Sol when we have ETH? And now obviously Sol has its place in the ecosystem. Sui just kind of seems a bit like that to me, but I just think it has a really good chance of actually breaking its all-time high because it looks good and it's a new coin, and there's a lot of institutional interest on it for some reason. There's some rumors that they're going to do some RWA stuff with, like, I don't really know the ins and outs of Sui. I don't I don't own any on spot. I just look at it as something that's really good to trade as a new cycle coin with a lot of good interest. So to answer your question, I don't really know why we need it as well. I just think it looks really good from a charting perspective, and obviously it's a new coin, so it's a new coin with a lot of traction, which usually will do better than stuff like Link and Aave. But even Link is doing quite well. Aave to a certain extent as well. But yeah, let's have a look at like AVAX, for example, which is still squeezing into this resistance. I think AVAX looks quite good on the daily time frame. It's barely dumped at all since Bitcoin dumped from its all-time high. AVAX has barely moved, and yeah, I think this is just a matter of time before it breaks out towards its yearly open, to be honest. So he's got a nice long AVAX going. Sui, a high-speed, user-friendly blockchain optimized for digital ownership, NFTs, gaming, social apps, and with a design that fixes Ethereum's bottlenecks. Yeah, so quite a similar story to other things, but I don't know why, but Sui definitely has a lot of institutional or like big company interest. So like with the NFT thing, I think there were a lot of companies that are looking at building on the Sui blockchain. And so I just think it has a good chance to break its all-time high. So basically also Solana, yeah. So to answer your question, you're probably right, but that doesn't mean that it can't do really big things. And like I said, people said the same thing about Solana last cycle, so I just think that feels like a blockchain or a coin that is obviously going to do maybe like $10, which would be a 20x from 0.5 from its low, and a 10x from $1, which was it's kind of like medium price for a long time, which would make sense. Yeah, it's like kind of a sister to Sol. Yeah, kind of. Thank you for that. So yeah, not really any changes from AVAX, still looking good. Not really any changes from Doge, still looking quite good as well. This is holding its August level really, really nicely. We're starting to get some bullish divergence as well on these time frames. I'm still not looking at long in this just yet until we do something like that. But again, the daily and the weekly look very, very, very attractive on Dogecoin. These weekly combination bands are getting quite tight. This can signal a move that is coming quite soon. It's also coming like that on the daily time frame. Yeah, I can just see this. I can just see some breakouts coming quite soon. By soon, it could take another few weeks, but I definitely think it's coming at some point. What else should we look at though? What's interesting? Render, Aave. We'll look at hype. Actually, we haven't had a look at hype today. Probably not much change on hype since. Oh yeah, we did look at hype. I did say it got stopped out, but yeah, hype still looks relatively good, and I'm still long on my other exchanges as well. I was just trying to get a third one on that 4-hour Stu pocket and the combination man, but it didn't really go to plan. Generally, everything's still looking quite good. We could just be in for a relief bounce now and then one more down move, or if this has legs, we're going to start to see some gains on the 4-hour, and then we can long the high low. But yes, it is going. It is going. So again, I think we talked about render from 3.15 to 3.3 potentially being the bottom area. This has wicked into the daily combination band quite nicely. So this is definitely looking quite interesting if we can gain this weekly open, this April, September, whatever this cluster of levels is right here. obviously we're still in a bit of a micro downtrend on the daily time frame since basically like there, but we're on support. This is big support from the start of July, and I am expecting it to hold. To be honest, I'm expecting it to hold pretty well. It just remains to be seen if we do, like that, and then do the nice retest, or if we do this and then get rejected and do one more down into the lows. H bar worth a look. Tau, yeah. So Tau doesn't have a crypto capture. Tau is yeah, so I was talking about I think I was talking about 330 as a level potentially long. We actually bearishly retested 330 here off the Q3. So I am out of that trade. I think I got stopped out around 320 or something like that. So I am just waiting to see what happens with this in terms of the trade. Like, I tried to long it, I got stopped out. So now I'm just going to be patient and wait to see what happens. We are potentially finding a little bit of support just off this daily low, but I mean, until it does something like this, I'm not really looking to jump back in just yet. As this is a little bit in the danger area of potentially falling all the way back down to like 270, 280, somewhere in here. The local price action is obviously still down. We need to see some gains. We need to see this stepped off. We need to see this high tested and maybe a higher low off the September. We are trying to gain it right now on the 4 hour. We've done 1 4 hour close above it. We're currently on it right now. Because I've already been stopped out once, it does leave a little bit to be desired here. But I do think that this is getting quite close to potentially breaking up above this EMA, because it already has bearishly retested it twice. We have one wick into the combination band off that low, and we are getting some bullish divergence. I need to just bring up my my retail stablecoin demand, because I haven't been looking at on all these charts. I need to be looking at it. So yeah, we're also getting some bullish divergence on the retail stablecoin demand, pretty much all the way from this low at 320 all the way down here. So basically what we're getting is a down little channel in price. We're getting bullish divergence on all the oscillator. It basically just needs a little bit of something like that, and then it's gonna break out towards the upside. I'm just trying to be patient with this though in the meantime. And yeah, the daily is also getting quite close to being oversold. If we can do some gains on the 4 hour, it will start to look quite nice. The 1 hour has come up and tested this high. We're currently above the weekly open. If we can hold the low at 305, basically on the hourly, and then make a new high, I think it's going to be looking quite good. But yeah, I'm just going to keep an eye on the 4 hour chart. And yeah, we would like to hold this daily open, this 4 hour structure now that we just put in. We would like to put in a new high at like 325 as well. But I do think this is getting quite close to having a bounce. This whole down channel, all this bullish divergence, the retail stablecoin demand and stuff like that. It's looking like it's getting quite close. We got it on the 12 hour. Nothing on the daily as of right now, but let's actually just go through some of those charts quickly, because I just want to check the retail stablecoin demand. Yeah, we got hidden on ETH on the daily. Sol hidden on the daily. This bounce could have some legs to it. It definitely could have some legs. Filecoin, we're talking about this. This printed way early, and then it did one more down move, which is why I was thinking that 0.73 was going to be a bounce area. Again, this is quite similar to Tau, where we've been bullishly divergent basically through this whole down move into support at 7.3, and all we're basically waiting for is like one new high, and then you can just get in on your bullish retest. I obviously got in on this wick because I already had orders set. But yeah, it's looking quite good. We just need to do something on the price action. And then all this bullish divergence can start playing out. That's also looking quite good. So yeah, we're getting that on the retail stablecoin demand, which is nice. Doge. Yeah, Doge is getting its 4-hour. Doge could be a little bit of a sleeper one. This could be a little bit of a sleeper. H bar worth a look. I didn't look at H bar. So yeah, that's Tau for me. I am keeping an eye on it, but I'm not. I have been stopped out once. So I would like to see a little bit more substantial price action for me to go back in after I've been stopped out. Let's get a fresh chart on this. H bar. Yeah, it's looking interesting. It is looking interesting to potentially bounce. I do think the daily does look a little bit rough. To change this, we really need to sort of gain August and come up and test the yearly open. It leaves a lot to be. It leaves a lot to kind of do on this chart. Even if we gain the weekly open, we could actually just get rejected from here and make a new low down into this support, basically this swing at around 119.2 and basically 20 cent. What I'll be kind of waiting for on this is a test of here and then a higher low anywhere in between the weekly open and September. If we can hold that structure in there, then we're potentially looking at a really nice trade up to August. As of right now, like with all the other stuff, we've got some bullish divergence coming in. Obviously on the oscillator, on the 4-hour, all through this down move. We've got bullish divergence coming in on the retail stablecoin demand. It is saying, the technicals are saying that we are going to bounce quite soon. But you just need to pair this with a little bit of price action. And the reason why is that if you longed here because of the retail stablecoin demand, the reversal warning on the oscillator, we also tagged green, you would have basically just been stopped out and failed basically because you don't have any price action to go with it. Again, we're getting some big bullish divergence come in just on this last down move into the March level. So yeah, the hourly did a little sneaky close below. Again, we just need to do a little bit more. We need to do a little bit more for a safe sort of trade. I do like the fact that this combination man is supporting us, and we do have a couple of wicks into it. Again, I expect this to come up and test here, and then potentially hold somewhere in here. If not, we're going to make a new low down to that swing that I talked about. Caught the low on Arve, Morpho, AVAX per before bed. I need to get back home to look at stuff more. Yeah, so let's actually have a look at Morpho. We'll have a look at AVAX as well again. I really do like AVAX for a potential breakout, and the reason why is just because, again, it's been holding exceptionally well in this down move, and I feel like it's built up a lot of tension in the meantime. So Morpho has actually made a new low on the daily. We've come back down into the start of August structure, which is interesting because we do need to hold some of this stuff like here, where we have actually just tagged. The daily combination band is coming a little bit lower. Let's actually check the 12-hour. So the 12-hour is getting some retail stablecoin demand. This actually looks nice, and the reason why it looks nice is because sometimes when you get that print, it does one more. and then it goes. We're currently trying to gain the weekly open in September, which is quite nice. Again, we're getting high confidence on the 12-hour on the oscillator as well. I think it's a similar thing with H bar here. We've obviously got resistance here, which we want to come up and tag. If we can make a new high, or even just come back down and hold the low, you're looking to potentially long this up higher. As of right now, yeah, you've caught a long on the support. You're potentially just going to take some profit here at that high and just wait for a bit more price action to develop. Should also state that all have first TP and stops at break even. It's all free monies. Yeah, so like that's why I'm saying be quite patient if you're not in any positions, because I'm trying to be patient as well. I am in my Filecoin, of course, but and a couple of other things, but yeah, we basically want to see that and then that for this to continue going higher. If not, we're potentially just going to do another bearish retest and go lower. As the trend is still down, it is looking like we're potentially getting close to a short term or some sort of bounce. But you have to remember that the trend is still down. So when you come up to these levels, you're still looking for a bearish retest until you do the higher low. When you do the higher low, that's when you're like, okay, we might go a little bit higher. Yeah, Per's looking quite good. I like Per. I'm in on Per. I'm still long on Per. And yeah, we've now this looks really good. I like this because we've established some support in this area. I'm actually going to put a little box because it's easier. Where is the box? Rectangle here. So like kind of like the magnet's really annoying. Kind of like this area is now we've made this into support, which is really nice to see. Just around September level basically. So I don't even need to put that on actually. So yeah, this is looking really good, and we're also gaining the EMA. Found support, push divergence. Yeah, I like Per. I'm long on Per. I'm just holding my long, to be honest. I do have some sells on Per, obviously just in this area. Nearly touched it on this up move, but hopefully when we start blasting off now, a lot of my sells going to be hit in this area. 19, 20 cent. Yeah, I'm going to try and get out of half of my position. And then potentially reload a little bit lower down here. Again, looking really good. So yeah, like I said on AVAX, the daily's holding really, really well. We've got a lot of support baked in. We've barely moved on this chart since dumping on Bitcoin. There is the potential again to do one more all the way down to the lows where the combination band is. But as of right now, we are gaining this high on this 4 hour. Well, this previous high that led us to this low. Let me put it like this. This high from the EMA ribbon in here led us to this low where we basically did a higher low or an equal low and created a nice overlapping demand zone. We then gained the weekly open in September, and we're currently breaking above it on this 4 hour candle. So this looks good. This looks good. I do like AVAX for a breakout as well. AVAX, Doge, and what was the other one? Sui. I think these are really good looking charts. And I think they're going to go quite quick once they start going towards maybe the end of September, the beginning of October. You know, that's that start of like alt season. I do think some of these coins are just going to go really hard or really fast for like a month, and before anyone knows really what's happening, it's kind of going to be over. It's going to be over before everyone realizes, oh shit, we're in a little mini alt season. Everything's done 100%, and it's basically already going to be nearly topping out. So which is why I haven't been focused on shorts that much at all. When even we could have made some good money on shorts over the last like week or two, but I'm just trying to get into some really nice long positions and for the blow off top, maybe 100, 200% on alts, and then it's going to be over. But yeah, I think, to be honest, there's not really too much change since yesterday. Fartcoin's been hit. That was the nice ones we've been talking about for a while. Hopefully that has some really good legs because that's a really big trade for me. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I put quite a lot of margin into that one. So, still waiting to be hit. And what else did I talk about yesterday? Yeah, hype got stopped out. So, those are trades from yesterday. Probably the best looking things today. I haven't been looking at PopCap much, to be honest. Let's actually just delete everything on PopCat, shall we? Yeah, potentially getting very close. This might have one more. What this might do is it might reject initially from here and then do one more into like 2-2, and then I think that might be the bottom. But it's also, again, we're getting bull divs, we're getting reversals on the 4 hour. We just need to see like a little bit like that, and then I'll long everything as well. So yeah, a little bit of patience for me. If we get rejected and we do one more down move, I'm gonna long. If we make a new high, I'm gonna long the weekly open September. Very, very simple. So yeah. Oh, we haven't looked at Arve that in depth. Again, are they something I like? Just because I feel like it has institutional potential. As being the biggest DeFi coin. DeFi is obviously something that I do feel like some institutions are going to want to dip their toes in. I feel like it's definitely an ETF contender. That doesn't mean I think it's going to get an ETF anytime soon, but I definitely think it's something like Aave and Link that could see ETFs at some point in the future. Probably Sol first, though. Is there a Sol ETF, guys? Or is there not? I don't think there is at the moment, but yeah, probably Sol first. And again, we're still in an uptrend on this chart. We have low, higher low, high, higher high. Haven't broke the low yet at Q3. Hidden bull div on the retail stablecoin demand. Means continuation. Just go slightly down to the lower time frames. Again, we still have a little. This price action still looks a little bit weird, a little bit rough. We're currently bearishly retesting September, and we do have a new low on the 12 hour. So again, this could do a little bit more. It could do one more, as we could get rejected from here. This is the weekly open September. This is also the EMA ribbon. Sorry. I need to stop calling it an EMA ribbon. It's an EMA. It's a combination. EMA. But yeah, again, this could see one more. Basically down to this low. But in general, I feel like everything is quite close. It's either bouncing now and we're going to make new highs and do a higher low, or we're going to do one more and then bounce really hard. Well, not really hard, but we're going to bounce at some stage. So yeah, the VIX is up. What's going on here? VIX is up and we're seeing a bounce. Interesting. What's happening with the the S&P is not open yet. Watch the S&P in case it gaps down. Gaps down below this support when Viking does his stream. But yeah, in general, that's about it. All I have to say. I am going to be quite active in the market probably today, not tomorrow. I'm gonna try and catch some. I'm gonna try and monitor the 4 hour closes and stuff. See if we make some new highs. See if we do some high lows. If we do one more as well, I'm also gonna be trying to catch something. So, yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Unless anyone has anything that they want me to check in terms of spot, in terms of micro, well, slightly smaller caps, because it is kind of that time of year. Then I'll happily bounce. But yeah, Litecoin also looks quite good, doesn't it? Looks pretty good. So yeah, let me stop my recording. How much was that? 45 minutes. See